Shana Tova. Today I'd like to share with you a story told by Rabbi Daniel Gottlieb. Long ago, in a town far, far from here, in Russia, a Jewish community gathered in their town square for Rosh Hashanah like we are today. But unlike us, they were incredibly sad and worried. Earlier that day, an emissary from the Tsar came to speak with them. The Tsar was the king of Russia, and the Tsar did not like the Jewish people. Whenever the Tsar or the Tsar's emissaries came to the community, it was bad news for everyone. The Tsar mocks the Jewish people, said the Tsar's emissary. You pray and you pray on this Rosh Hashanah. You blow the shofar. But you say that your God is powerful, that your God is invisible. But how can that be? How can your God see Godself? You have 1 week to answer that question, and if you can't, the synagogue will be closed, and you will not be able to gather for Yom Kippur. Oy vey, said everybody. Everybody looked to the rabbi. Rabbi, please help us. If God is powerful and God is invisible, how does God see Godself? The rabbi thought, and the rabbi paced, and the rabbi hemmed and hawed, but the rabbi couldn't figure out the answer. And so the rabbi thought that I'll speak to the most wise people in the town, the men, the women, the people who know the most about Judaism. And so the rabbi said to them, if God is powerful and God is invisible, how does God see Godself? And they said, we don't know either. So the rabbi thought, and the rabbi paced, and the rabbi hemmed and hawed. And the rabbi decided that the rabbi would reach out to the teachers. The teachers had to teach the kids, so they must know the answer. If God is powerful and God is invisible, how does God see Godself? And they said, we don't know. So the rabbi thought, and the rabbi paced, and the rabbi hemmed and hawed. And the rabbi said, I'll speak to the Torah scholars. The Torah scholars know our tradition better than anyone. They must know the answer. And so the rabbi said, if God is powerful and God is invisible, how does God see Godself? And they said, we don't know. Well, it was only one day until the Tsar's emissary was going to return. And the rabbi was very sad and decided that the rabbi would go back to the synagogue. As the rabbi was walking, the kids came out and they saw the rabbi. And they said, Rabbi, why are you so sad? Why are you worried? And the rabbi said, I have a question. I have a question I can't answer. Well, tell it to us, said the kids. Maybe we'll know the answer. So the rabbi said, if God is powerful and God is invisible, how does God see Godself? And they said, Rabbi, that's an easy one. What do you mean, said the rabbi. You taught us that in religious school. I did? You did. You told us that we are created in the image of God. And so if we are created in God's image, all God needs to do is look to us. We're like a mirror. That's brilliant, said the rabbi. Thank you so much. And so the rabbi gathered the entire community back in the town square. And the rabbi said, "The children have taught me that we are created in God's image. All God needs to do is look to us." And so they told that to the Tsar's emissary. And the Tsar's emissary was impressed and said, "Your synagogue can stay open." And it's a reminder for all of us. Some of us have a strong belief in God. Some of us question God. Some of us don't believe in God either. That's okay. But it's a reminder for all of us that we need to look in each other's faces. Because when we look in each other's faces, we see how we're interconnected. And we see a spark of something in us that is in each other, and a spark of something holy, something out there in the world that's greater than ourselves. And so, on this Rosh Hashanah, this moment where it's such a difficult time, when so many of us are not really seeing each other, may we look into each other's faces and treat each other kindly and with compassion. May we look out for each other and treat each other how we want to be treated. Because God looks at us and sees a mirror, and we can look to each other and see that spark of something that connects us all. So may it be so in this new year. May we look to each other and treat each other kindly and bring about peace to this world. Amen. Shana Tova.